What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Amalgam Show. One of your hosts, Keena Johnston, alongside Nathaniel Redden. Hi. Kyron Johnston.
Hey.
Shannon Hagler.
Heyo.
And Dean Kaminsky.
Sup, my Nigels?
Thornberries.
Yeah.
Smashing.
What's the Amalgam Show about, Dean?
Oh shit. It's about
Pop quiz.
pop culture stuff and things we care about.
Correct. Well
There we
done.
go.
It has been a while. Like, probably about
I mean, I didn't think you'd ask me of all.
That's why I asked you.
I closed my mind and protected my thoughts.
For those who were paying attention in class.
teacher.
For those who paid attention in class, the homework should be easy.
Well, fuck me, am I right?
How we all been lately? Yeah, not too bad. Yeah.
It's a new year.
It is a new year. It's a new decade.
New year, new decade, new me.
New crises.
Shit, fucked. Maybe for you guys.
I'm back on my shit.
I'm not waiting for the start of the year to change. I'm just waiting for something to just help.
Jesus Christ.
I tried, I really did. I'm back on my shit.
If you enjoy what you're about to watch / listen to, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell.
You know
Subscribe
the
on your
deal.
favourite podcast.
Oh, we're a flaming duck this episode, aren't we?
Flaming duck.
It'll probably be whatever the thumbnail is for the entire episode.
That's weird.
That's what most other podcasts
Do a PowerPoint presentation. Have a
Love doing
slide.
Oh my god, yes, the star-like transition. Wow.
We'll
If
see.
he does the star transition at the point that I make that sound, that would be amazing.
I'll see what I can do.
It's never gonna happen, but okay.
It'll just do the star transition and be the same picture.
It's early enough in the episode that I might see what I can do. It's not like 50 minutes in where I have to do anything about it. Support us on Patreon, I guess. We got to sort stuff out about all this.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, we're in the start of the year, so once things are starting
Yeah.
to settle down a little bit, because people have moved and people have done things.
People are moving.
Moving, so
We've
yeah.
got a new
People are
studio, so
Learning to do backflips.
We got a new concrete box.
Yep.
Yeah.
at least it doesn't smell
Just
just
like-
like sewers.
Yes, it's not
Drain
like
pipes.
Yeah.
It is not musty.
it's less.
It doesn't
dank.
smell like sewers. Well, kind of.
It will once we're done with it.
You'll say it, it's right. I'm going to shit in
There is a toilet in here.
Yeah.
Everybody during the podcast we were drinking. 1 sec.
That's what I'm expecting this year.
Alkaline is just going to be 1 4-hour flush sound.
No flush, only dropping.
Constant waterfall. That's all it's going to be. It's like, fuck, are they filming at Niagara? Quiet spots.
Check out the Amalgam Games Lab, where Shannon and I will probably be going over our Game of the Years, our 2020 predictions, and what we think of Xbox
Plural.
Series X, and our games of the year.
Yeah. 2019 was a weird year.
Ooh, very.
I mean, to be fair, you could do games of the decade.
Oh, that would take time.
Assassin's Creed
Choose
1,
one,
Assassin's
choose
Creed 2, Mario 1, Mario 2.
Just one for each year. Do your top 10 for the entire decade.
We could do that.
Oh,
I'd
shit.
probably do that for a Patreon one, though.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like
I
that.
wouldn't pay for that.
Hey,
I mean,
You wouldn't pay for shit.
yeah, true.
just because you broke bitch.
And then check us out on social media at The Amalgam Show, wherever you want, except for...
iTunes.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No,
Okay.
we're on iTunes.
Yeah.
iTunes, Spotify, and...
No, we're on
Everything.
The other thing, we're on iTunes, Spotify, and pretty much all...
SoundCloud.
No.
All right. Fuck you,
That's
SoundCloud
right, yeah.
people.
He found it.
What have we been up to this week, guys? Oh, this month-ish.
Who's going to start?
I can start.
Yeah, go for it.
So I watched Jojo Rabbit on Boxing Day.
Yes.
That's a fun movie. It's a weird movie. It's Taika Waititi's new film.
Okay.
And it's
Who is?
Taika Waititi is the director of What We Do in the Shadows and Thor Ragnarok.
There we go.
He's doing Thor 4, more Thor.
More Thor than
We had
last.
Thor.
There are more Thor.
We had Thor the Dark Thor, Thor Ragnarok, and Thor 4, more Thor.
Jesus. Okay.
That's what the title should have been.
So yeah, Jojo Rabbit is a comedy satire set during World War II about like a very radicalized Nazi kid, and it's about like the humor that ensues. Like they take the piss out of everything, but there's like one incredibly like tense scene that I don't want to spoil. That's like, ooh. It's a comedy and a tragedy. Yeah,
my favorite.
Yeah, and he does it really well.
Like dark humor.
There's a bit of dark humor, not like super dark humor, but like there's comedy and then there is tragedy as well.
It's a comedy based around World War II.
No,
the whole thing was a fucking tragedy.
Yeah, that sounds rough.
So yeah, it's a really good movie.
Perspective. No, joking.
We're cancelled. That's it. We're done. Thanks, Dean.
I have my Fridays back.
It's a good movie. I recommend it whenever it pops up on Netflix or something like that. Yeah. And then other day I finished Titan season 2. Just something I've been looking forward to because I weirdly like this show.
Why is it weirdly for you?
Because it's kind of trashy and kind of soapy, but like not in a complete CW way, but like not in like a this is art way.
Right. Okay.
It's a good show. I enjoy it, but I can see why people don't. I think that's why.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun. The season was like a lot more not fun. Like it's still angsty and shit, but like.
But it was a whole lot less fucking mopey Raven and more mopey everyone else, and actually focusing on the Titans, and it wasn't just Raven feet fucking Titans.
Yeah, and then every now and then skipping other people's plots. No, it was really good. I really liked all the additions.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any character I'm like, I wish we weren't seeing you.
Yeah.
Crypto's the best character. Crypto's the super dog.
He is a good boy. All right. So
you guys watch this show at all? Or?
No, not even a little
In that
bit.
case, do you want to talk spoilers a little bit?
Yeah. Let's go for it. So I have also watched all the Titans. It's pretty good.
Yeah. They finally got to the road. They finally got to the point of introducing Nightwing, which is what this 2 seasons have really been building towards. Like this first episode, he breaks up with Batman, and he built the Nightwing from there. They finally got there. They introduced Superboy,
Yeah.
in an interesting way. Although they kind of did exactly what they did last season in terms of like mind control. We're gonna fight the mind control friends.
Yeah. They really did just kind of go, hey, recycle the plot, but change it a little bit.
But they also do the Judas Contract, which is in the comics. It's when usually Terra comes in. Terra is like an earthbender basically. She like comes in, befriends the Titans, and like, oh no, she betrays the Titans because Deathstroke planted her in there basically. And they basically did that again, but like very modified.
I have seen the exact movie or episode thing. They've done the Judas Contract in, I think it was Teen Titans.
Animated.
Yeah, in the old animated series they did.
And that was Lady Deathstroke or whatever. It was his daughter.
No, it was Terror in that.
I have seen a version where it was legitimately his daughter, and it was just the Judas Contract.
There was a Judas Contract movie animated series like 2-3 years ago where it was like halfway through when Terror was there.
Yeah.
And then like, because it's got like Damian Wayne Robin instead of Dick Grayson
and
Dick
Jason
Grayson
Todd.
is Nightwing. He's the leader of that team.
Yes, and Starfire is the leader as well.
Yeah.
And then Raven's like super young, so is Beast Boy. And then they've got, I feel like there's a black kid in there, but it's not Cyborg.
No.
Black
Reyes.
Beetle.
Black Beetle.
Not Black Beetle.
Blue Beetle, yeah.
Yes.
Black Beetle is a song.
And he's not black.
And also the bad one.
He's also the bad one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Black Scarab, isn't it?
Black Scarab.
That's
Black
it.
Beetle is the hero. Black Scarab is what's on his back.
It's just the Scarab.
I think you're fine.
Well,
Also, not black, Mexican. Sorry.
Whoa, Jesus.
Well, I said I feel like there's a black kid, and then I said Blue Beetle. I felt
You
like
said
I
Black
should
Beetle.
cover that up. I did say Black Beetle.
But But it was a
You've got
black
to-
scary.
I feel like
And Beatles in
whoever it is a very big crowd pleaser.
Regardless, minority. Move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they've done the Judas Contract a few times, and it's always been solid. But yeah, this is they straight up just use his daughter in
It's a
this.
very solid contract, yes.
Mm. So for those who don't know what the Judas Contract
Yes,
is,
please.
it
I
is.
just described it. They plant his.
Well,
the-
Shannon just
Okay.
said yes, please,
Okay.
so I doubt
Okay.
I wasn't listening. Thank you.
No.
No, okay, so the in-depth thing of the Judas Contract, for people who don't know, it is Deathstroke has beef with the Titans through past actions. So then they, like in this version, the reforming of the Titans is the reason he's like, alright, you're dead. We made a deal, you got away with your life last time. I said if you ever did this again, you're gonna die. So now he's coming back to kill everyone who's associated with the Titans. So, like, and the way they do it throughout the show is it's just him. You don't even consider his daughter to be a mole or anything like that, because when you meet her, she is getting her eye gouged out by Deathstroke in a big fight. It turns out to all be staged and stuff, but from the moment you meet Rose, you don't suspect her of anything, and then it's just the slow breaking of the team, like spirit, like their connection and everything like that, to break them apart and divide and conquer.
Just so I can get my head around this,
Mhm.
the Judas Contract is like a storyline from a comics. or
Yes,
something like that? Like,
yes.
It's called the Judas Contract, and that is they have done this as part of the television.
Yes.
They've taken that arc and created their own version of it.
Exactly.
Which they have done multiple times before.
Mhm.
Cool. Right. Sweet. got
It's
it.
a staple storyline
Of
of
the Teen
the
Titans.
Titans.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and it's a good show. Like they do the stuff with Cadmus and Superboy in there. They do Starfire's storyline of, oh no, I have all my memories back and I got to go back to my home planet. But do I want to? Oh no, my sister's now the queen. She just killed everyone. I can't get back to my planet. That's probably the most underwhelming storyline in that show.
I went to the toilet and didn't see that part. So I came back and I was like, yes? What happened to her powers?
She killed her like partner, like the guy, her guard.
Yeah,
Who she did sleep with once, because she was taken over by that like weird. Because he was taken over by the like goop.
Yeah.
With her sister basically. Yeah, this comic book bullshit.
Yeah, it's basically like Spider-Man 3 Venom. Bit of goop, but it crawled in her ear and then it transmorphs into the sister.
Gotta get that good.
Alright, Starfire's black, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's been black total, so.
What?
Orange.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like people who have like different skin colors in comics, like, and if they, yeah. the
I
stuff
always saw her as Asian.
I always saw her as an alien.
Yeah, me.
Alex too.
I never saw her, so.
Yeah.
Did you
She's
never
a
watch
tramp.
Teen Titans?
She's a tramp because she's
I
orange.
watched Teen Titans for, I don't know, a couple of episodes, but I'm not.
I hated it when I was a kid because that theme song was irritating as fuck.
It was.
And then I watched it like.
Oh, you didn't like the two Japanese sisters?
It was never an.
When I was a kid, and then I grew up and then realised what taste was.
It was never. It was never. It was never an animation style that I liked.
Yeah.
Like I was looking at it like, really, man.
From the tower they can see us all.
The best part is someone's made the Japanese version and the English version in like stereo, but like through one headphone each, and that shit's fucks you up. It's great.
That's
Like,
called a schizophrenic episode.
you don't listen to like two music tracks through like left and right.
No.
Wait, you listen to two songs at one time?
No, someone mixed it together.
That's very different.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
So you're saying like a stereo sound. Like,
so
sound
what it is, it's one track. Someone's uploaded it and like, but made it like so that the left side is playing one song and the right side is playing the other song, but they've synced it up because they're the exact same songs more or less, and then they just let them play. So you're hearing two different songs at once, but they are it's just different versions of them. They also did it for what's another one of the some Panic at the Disco songs. With one had the piano arrangement for it.
Mm-hmm.
They did the exact same thing, like the pop version.
Okay,
of
so
it.
like
Yeah.
acoustic versus
Sorry.
Yeah.
acoustic versus
Yeah.
actual.
But if they're mixed correctly, your brain would be tricked into thinking it's one song. with. Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's a cool idea.
I like it a lot. I didn't realize this was a revelation to y'all.
Well, yeah, that's not really a popular thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Titans it's on Netflix and it's been renewed for season 3. So
It's got some pretty good plot twists here and there, but they're also like, if you pay more than half attention, you'll see the plot, like the plot twists coming.
Yeah.
But if you just watch it as something you're watching and like
There's something
doing
fun.
something else,
There's something fun about watching a television show that has like plot twists and trying to guess it at the start and getting it right. Like when you go, I bet this is what's going to happen, and 4 episodes later it happens. I feel satisfaction in that.
there's also like they do play with comic book convention. Like they toy with Jason Todd's death in this.
Yeah.
In a way that's not what happens in the comics at all. But like you could plausibly see, oh shit, he's gonna die here, and then he doesn't. He just gets super traumatized, which is just as good. And then like when it was happening, I'm like, oh no, I don't want Jason to die. And then I'm like, but what if Superboy saves him? Because I know Superboy's coming. And then like 2 episodes later, or by the end of the next episode, Superboy saves him. So I'm like, fuck yeah.
Cool.
So what was there a good resolve to what happened at the end of season 1? Because we've seen season 1, never started season 2. Was there a good resolve?
Resolved in the first episode.
It is.
Oh,
I don't know if
Literally,
it's good, but they do it.
All that happens right at the start for people who want to see the end of season 1 but don't want to watch season 2. Literally, Gar is a good boy, and Trigon couldn't corrupt him. And he walks up to Raven and goes, "But you're good. You don't have to do that." And she's like, "Oh fuck, I don't." And then comes back and then just touches people.
Power of
like,
friendship.
Yeah, power of fucking friendship, and everyone goes like gets all their dark circles taken away. Trigon goes outside, turns into Demon Trigon, and she just
Which is like
yeets him
7
into
feet
fo-
tall.
Yeah,
It's not that
not
tall.
huge, and she just yeets him, and he kind of dissolves midair.
wow,
Yes.
friendship is magic.
Yeah,
It's very much like this should have been the season finale of last season, but since they knew they were getting renewed, they're just like, we'll just make this the next
Oh, and
episode.
also she has a dollar store crystal on her forehead the entire fucking movie. Like, season.
Yeah.
Shit.
But she's
Like-
always had that in the comics. They just
Yeah, I know, but the quality of the thing
Oh,
on
yeah.
her forehead in the actual filming thing looks like... so you know that, like, you buy a DMC, like, necklace from, like, Wish back in the day? You know that shitty plastic crystal?
I feel like he's speaking from experience.
Yes.
I'm just getting like grade 7. My hair's cut like Dante.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
and that's it. Like, it's an okay show. I don't recommend people go out of their way to watch it, but if it's something you're interested in, go for it.
If you like Dick Grayson and the Titans, watch it.
If you like edgy swear heroes, then
yeah, they swear a lot.
go watch that.
If you like edgy swear heroes but good, Watchmen is good.
Yes.
Watchmen is a really, really good show. It carries on from the comics, and takes place in the modern day, but it does like weave together like a really good narrative in like 9 episodes. It doesn't look like it's getting a season 2 because Damon Lindelof doesn't want to do it. He's like, no, I'm happy with the story I told. I'm gonna bounce now. And the execs are like,
Yeah.
we
Don't have a U season 2. That is terrible.
So I do recommend
Compared to the
Watchmen.
book- Compared to the book, it's completely fucked.
God, you sound like every person who's read a book.
Yeah.
No, I haven't read the book.
No,
Every
Read
person
a
who's
book.
read a book.
like fucking Harry Potter. I'm fucking sick compared to the books. Fuck, sorry I didn't start reading beforehand.
Fuck, sorry, I'm illiterate.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
enjoyed
assholes.
something.
Thanks for pointing it out.
I never
I can't read. I know the word you. That's why I started watching this. I was like, me.
You talking to me?
Fucking, that's my show.
I can get into this.
And one
And then he
last,
started killing people. I was like, this is me. Spoilers.
one last thing. I watched Crisis on Infinite Earth, the CW crossover, the 5-part.
Was it
Did
shit?
you? No, they're shit in the way that like the CW shows are, but like once you've accepted what they are, the show's just
Fun camping.
Once you've developed Stockholm Syndrome for these shows, you will fall in love with your captor.
More or less. But no, it's a really fun crossover. They do some like they legit end the universe and the multiverse, and then reboot the multiverse. Everyone, if you have a CW show, you're now all on the one Earth. If you're Titans, you're Earth 9.
Cool.
That's pretty much it. It's a fun crossover. Superman's in it.
Nathaniel, what have you been up to?
I will explain quickly my situation and then quickly the two things that I will talk about. So over the Christmas period, I was with my family. So Shannon and Vanessa were there, and the rest of my family, and Dean was also there.
Yeah,
For a bit of it. He was there for Christmas. We went through Brisbane, Gold Coast, and the Sunshine Coast. It was pretty good, not gonna lie. But other than that, the two things that I have been into that I want to talk about is one's games, one's TV. The first thing is I've downloaded Games Pass on my computer. It's in beta testing, so they've only got a few games on there. You can get Outer Worlds on PC through Games Pass. There's a heap of them you can get. You can Sea of Thieves and all that. I have only played 2 games on it so far. I played and finished My Friend Pedro. I don't know if you've heard about it.
It's the skateboarding game.
There's skateboarding in it. It's not the skateboarding game.
I meant it's the skateboarding game with guns.
Yeah, so you can. There are parts of the game where you can ride a skateboard and shoot. But it's
is that not the game?
No.
Oh,
no, that's just parts of it.
That's all they show on the trailers. I'm like, this looks good.
It's
no wonder people
got,
don't like it that much.
It's kind of got a Hotline Miami vibe, except it's side scroller, not top down.
Yeah, like OG GTA.
Yeah. So it's side scroller. It's not bad. There's a lot of like little cool things that you can unlock and then doing it. It's got a weird ending. Not much of a story, but it's a quick game. So if you've got Games Pass, I would recommend playing it. I got through it in like half a day. And then the other thing I played was Moonlighter on Games Pass. Awesome on Games Pass. I wouldn't recommend paying $60 for it.
Would it be $60?
I think it is on Switch.
Okay.
But yeah, because I was looking at getting it because I was interested, but then I looked at it on Games Pass and I was like, I'll just get it on my PC and start playing it. It's really fun to play. You got to sink quite a bit of time into it. The combat style is kind of similar to OG Zelda. You get quite a lot of different weapons as well. You can get spears, bows, and you craft them all. And it's a dungeon crawler, and the dungeons change. So the whole point of the game is there are these dungeons that you have to unlock throughout time. The first one's already unlocked, then you go to the next one after you finish the main boss. Next one, works like that, and then you get to see what's behind the big door, which apparently no one in the game, like the games world, has ever seen. Through the way that you work the game is you go into these places, you get materials to build or whatever, but you also own a store called the Moonlighter, and you sell the goods in there. So it's a shop sim / dungeon crawler with the combat style of OG Zelda.
It's like how Stardew Valley did the thing of like you have a farm and you go dungeon crawling to make the farm work. This is a similar sort of idea, but you go dungeon crawling to run a shop.
Yeah. It's pretty basic, pretty simple, and you choose the prices for the things that you get as well, and you've got to make sure that you don't piss off your customers. You got to stop people from robbing you and stuff like that. So like you do that throughout the day, and then you go dungeon crawling at night, and then you come back, and people can come into your shop and request certain materials, so you can go out and try to find those materials to get big bucks.
Love big bucks.
Is that a unit of currency or just a slang term?
No, just a slang term.
Okay.
You could sell these materials on their own for like a quarter of the price they will offer you for the quest. So like you end up needing a lot of money to unlock certain things in the game. It ends up being like hundreds of thousands of in-game currency, and those missions are an easy way to get them. But that's all I did on the gaming front, except for The Witcher and such. Started playing The Witcher 3. I didn't watch Witcher, but I've been playing Witcher 3, and I feel like I played something else. Oh, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. But I stopped playing those because I bought all of them on Steam, because I wanted to play them, but I stopped playing after the first one because I'm catching up in the anime. I've been watching Naruto, that's the second thing I was going to talk about. I've been watching all of Naruto, I'm just got up to Shippuden, things are starting to get interesting.
Yeah.
So I got through 300 episodes. It's so fucking
The story of
You get
Naruto.
halfway through
Is it
Naruto,
interesting yet? Is it interesting yet? Is it interesting yet?
and then the rest of Naruto. So you get halfway through, it's like 150 episodes-ish, is when Sasuke's actually run away and that story ends for Naruto. The rest of it is like, okay, now we will build the characters of all those side characters that you met at the start. And that's the whole second half of that series. And then you get to Shippuden, and then they start talking about going after Sasuke again. And then they're like, oh, well, Naruto's actually fucking weak because all he's done is look for Sasuke.
But also train with Jiraiya, but somehow he still
has
So
fucking incompetent.
As far as I'm aware, when it comes to that, he's on the skill level of like Kakashi, but in saying that, he's basically refined all of his skills, like his taijutsu and like, you know, his combat tactics and just general chakra usage. Whereas Sasuke has created new jutsus and has completely perfected everything else. And it's like, Naruto, you're a little bitch. And then he finally meets up with him and it's like, yeah, nah, I'm a little bitch. I need to go train.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard everything about Naruto over the years of my life and still understand nothing about it.
So
Don't even try.
That's-
Like I don't even know what the central conflict
the reason
is for that show.
So there's no real conflict. It's more or less just like
Dragon Ball.
Why
Like,
does
no point
it?
in
No, Dragon Ball has a central
It's in
conflict.
turmoil.
Does
He
it
has
though?
a- he
Does
has-
Yeah.
what?
Well, originally the first Dragon Ball has the conflict of like Goku's just journey. It's journey.
It's not a conflict.
It's journey to the east, which is
Journey to the west.
Journey to the west. Sorry, the conflict is the journey.
Yeah,
That's
and
not the
Naruto's
point.
journey is journey to the Hokage.
Like that.
So the leader of the
leader of the
Right.
So the whole
yeah.
the whole idea.
Literally just said I've learned nothing about Naruto.
He's becoming the president.
the whole.
Oh no, becoming the mayor.
Okay,
Yeah, cool.
It's like
And the way he does that is he learns how to fight good.
keep
yeah,
going.
It's like if the president was elected through an arm wrestling thing.
Yeah.
Like whoever is the toughest.
So he's
person
just
moving
wanking
around.
himself off every
Well,
night, just building his guns.
right.
And then like when
Like,
he's
Dragon Ball's-
25, he goes in and just
Dragon Ball's a bad example because it's
Yes.
tried to retroactively include itself with a major
Yeah.
conflict. Ever since Super started, it's been trying to build this like retroactive lore that gives you like, well that's why all this stuff happened before, and doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like most other
Like One Piece set a goal.
yeah, there's a goal for said dumbass.
still finish.
Okay, so the central
Still finish.
thing for Naruto, for anyone who doesn't know, is he is an outcast in the village due to the demon fox in his stomach who destroyed the town the day he was born, and it was sealed inside him to save the village.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which-
So
okay.
Now everyone hates him.
So he's training to try and become the leader so that
Yeah.
they respect him.
Yeah.
with
Yes.
no power, with no technical skill, who is an entire fuck up
yeah.
Right.
forever.
Does he ever
Basically-
get good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
To be the best.
Okay, so he does get good.
He
Yes.
gets god level.
So
It's
the thing.
basically Deku in My Hero.
Yeah.
Right.
Going from nothing to the best.
Right.
But actually seeing the sadness
Yeah.
of the entire village hating an orphan.
Yeah. But the thing is that
Yeah.
the actual conflict of the good and evil side is what you're actually after, right?
Correct.
So
Kind of, yeah.
what
Who's
are
the
they-
bad guy?
Okay.
What's the?
So
the whole point. Wait.
There are
Stop it.
There are several.
Okay.
We'll just
The
say
whole
that.
point is, from what I've been able to tell, and I've watched Naruto, different parts of Naruto my entire life, and this is the first time I've actually been actively trying to get through it. There is one bad guy, and then that leads them to another bad guy, and then that bad guy
Yeah.
leads them to the group of bad guys, and
Yeah.
then those bad
That's-
guys.
that's the Dragon Ball complex.
But they don't actually kill any of them for a very, very long time.
Because those
all of
fuckers
those,
are strong.
all of those bad guys are still alive where I'm up to, and I am 30 to 40 episodes into Shippuden, which has 500 episodes, and I've already watched 300 episodes of
Why are
Naruto.
there so many episodes?
Filler.
Filler.
Like
Fuck off.
Naruto.
Yeah.
Naruto. Well, I was
Yeah.
gonna say the king of filler, but that's one.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
There was. I
Filler
had
and
to.
flashback.
I had to. Yes.
Fuck off.
I had to skip an entire season because it was an entire season of a boat ride to get to a village where.
Is there a Kai version of Naruto? Have they like trimmed the
No.
fat at any point
No.
and gone like, here's the story that you
No,
know?
they're pretty much. Just
They
been
should
like,
probably
cool,
do
we
that.
finished that. Here's Naruto's kid.
They should probably do that. They should
This is
probably
an
go back.
episode guide. It's like the same way that like Dragon
No,
Ball.
they
like,
didn't
I
say
feel Dragon Ball
that.
has
They were like,
filler.
this is Boruto, and this is Boruto's dad.
Yes, correct. Sorry, yes.
Fuck.
Because Boruto is fucking
Now,
kick-ass.
in saying that, so with Naruto Shippuden, it's more or less they've spent the previous episodes building these characters, and then there's gonna be like right at the end, it's just gonna be like dead.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I have a
That was kind
Crunchyroll
of
subscription, which I just renewed for a full year. And
What
I've
is
been
it?
looking Crunchyroll. It's an anime.
Interesting choice.
Well,
I know what it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the one that has all of the Yu-Gi-Oh that I want to watch on it.
Fair
But
share.
yeah.
Continue.
Like the one you want to watch. I can say
Yeah.
Netflix has Yu-Gi-Oh.
No,
It does.
it has.
Like one season.
It has one season of the original Duel Monsters. It does not have GX.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
or
All the shows you want to
Zexal
watch. That's
or
it.
5Ds.
Full
All the
Because
trash.
it's got the second season, or like the second part of GX as well.
It's got the
Like the
Japanese,
Japanese one.
the Japanese end of GX, the actual
The
official
fucked up,
canon
yeah.
end of
They
GX.
fucking need just tell us what it is.
It's also got the Japanese version of 5Ds, which is also like 5Ds. They cut
Oh, I don't care about
season out of
Zexal
5Ds.
as
Oh man, Zexal's trash, but 5Ds.
Is it? That's Pendulum Summons, isn't it?
No, that's Synchros.
Fuck is 5Ds?
5Ds is the motorcycle one.
What's Zexal?
Zexal's the
One where he has the ghost, isn't it?
yeah, that's the one where he has the Ghost Astral. That's the Ixies, like Xyz summons. Yeah, man, you're going to say because this leads into what I've been doing.
Yikes.
No, I picked up a late release from last year. I picked up Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links on the Switch.
Yeah.
And it's
I think this was like the
actually-
last show we had together. Is you going down to Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
this is how this works. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Going down the Yu-Gi-Oh rabbit hole.
yeah,
It's
man.
time to duel.
Yeah, man, it's so time to do it. No, because they've done an actually excellent thing which they've never really done before with that game. The storyline is usually in a Yu-Gi-Oh game they make up a tournament or some sort of reason for the characters to be there. This time they've just gone, cool. Here are the storylines from the series of Yu-Gi-Oh. So Yu-Gi-Oh, GX, 5Ds, Zexal, Arc 5, and the new one, Vrains. They're all in there, and you just play through all of the major duels.
That's a new one.
Yeah, well, it's finished now. They actually just finished Vrains.
What's it called? Brain.
Vrains. 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 Where they introduce link summoning, yeah, man. So, what they've done is... What they've done is really smart in that they have taken the new actual real world card game mechanics and used them in the game to then go through all the storylines and let you play through all of the major duels that happen throughout the anime's history. And the cool thing is, because they're using actual real world cards, they're actually able to create decks that are balanced in such a way that you can pull off the cool moves that happen in the actual anime. So the example I was going to use is that I finished up the entirety of the first Yu-Gi-Oh one. And it's like the first duel in the Battle City saga where he has to face the dude who's got Exodia, who's got like 3 sets of Exodia in his deck. And he uses the Light Force Sword to trap a card from his hand and then uses another card to destroy all the monsters in his deck. And I pulled off that exact same move.
Oh shit!
And was like, motherfucker, yeah! And I'm Yugi Moto, bitches. And it felt really good. And then they do a cool thing where you can actually go back and play the same duel in reverse and you can play as the bad guy.
You've just reminded me because I was aware
Is
of.
there a VR version of this game? Because that's
God, I wish there was.
There
Fuck,
is
it's so
VR
cool.
of Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's not Duel Links.
Oh.
It's just because there's the. You've just reminded me of another funny video. So, I'll talk about the first one first. So, for the battle that you're talking about, or
Yeah.
the duel rather. Don't know if you guys have heard of Ray Narvaez Jr., Brown Man.
Oh, Brown Man from, Achievement.
Yeah. So he was part of Rooster Teeth, and then he started doing his own streaming. At one point, he did Duel Links as a streaming episode thing, I guess. And he got up to that exact same battle. And while he started it, he started talking about how his friend Michael, who is still a part of Achievement Hunter,
Oh, yeah.
Michael Jones. He was like, oh yeah, so
Rage Quit guy.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rage Quit. So he started talking about how Michael played it, and in 2 moves, the other dude won by like pulling Exodia.
And
he was like, yeah, bro, like it was fucked because, you know, Michael was doing this, doing that. And then while he was talking, because again, he was doing the exact same battle.
Yeah.
The exact same thing happened to
Yes.
him. And he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I just
man.
got Michael'd! God damn it!
Yeah, like, to be fair, that duel is actually quite hard because all you have to do to win with Exodia is have all 5 cards in your hand, and you can't tell what he's got. And so it took me about 3 attempts to get that duel because the first 2 times he literally just played a card, drew a couple of cards, and boom, won. I was like, motherfucker!
Yeah.
But they do a really good way, of, they've built specific decks for each one of the story implementations so that you can implement the strategies that were used in the television show, but you're not using the exact same deck because the decks in the show are broken. Like, they don't work.
Oh, yeah.
They don't work actually the way they actually do. So you do have cards where you're like, well, that guy never actually used that card in the show, but to make the deck balanced to do what you want to do, they've got it in there. It's really, really fun. I'm halfway through the GX stuff. I'm going to keep playing it. The second thing that
I just want to say, update on that Yu-Gi-Oh! VR does not exist. It's a fan-made thing. There's no official Yu-Gi-Oh! VR. But yeah, you're right. It would be awesome.
Instance with that though, before you continue
Go.
again. So with the Yu-Gi-Oh! VR, there is another video of a guy dueling another guy, and pretty much just because obviously being fan-made, not 100% accurate, just pulls out Pot of Greed, keeps summoning it, and it's just like, it allows me to draw 2 more cards! And then he takes it, puts it back down to summon it, and does that until he has like the cards that he wants. It's
Nice.
pretty funny.
Nice. Yeah, there's that too. Like, they don't ban the cards that are like banned in real life.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's
Pot
good.
of Greed is broken.
Yeah,
So
I have used Pot of Greed so many times in that game, and it's so handy. It works.
Pot of Greed and Mirror Force.
But but being able to actually pull off the moves from the show was really cool. The other thing that I was going to talk about that I've seen is I went and watched the Book of Mormon.
The stage play.
The stage play. I went and see some theatre.
Fucking
Made by the creators of South Park?
Yes, Creators of South Park, Book of Mormon.
So, creators of South Park, the show?
Yes.
Cool. Because for a second when I saw that ad, I thought that, was there a South Park stage play?
No.
That'd be amazing.
Maybe something.
I mean, if you were to see this play, it's very clear that it is Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
Oh, yeah.
They are very much all over it.
Yeah.
It is excellent. It's funny as fuck. The musical part of it's actually really good too. The songs are catchy, but also quite funny, but quite dark. The only criticism I would have is that it deals with some pretty heavy subject matter, and it can be a little bit tense at times, but then it doesn't relieve the tension. So then it'll just start a comedic scene, and everyone's still a little bit like,
That's not like South Park at all.
no, but South Park's better at it. South Park is better at cutting the tension away because they're not.
So people are still wallowing in it while they're trying to move on.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They're way better at
Well,
that. Like, yeah.
shit.
Yeah. It only happens a couple of times though. For the most part, the play's great, but there's just a couple of times where I'm like, they could have just written a punchline to end that scene, and if they used a punchline to end that scene, then we would have giggled and then moved on to the next one. But instead, we're all just like, oh.
I think it sounds by design because
It might be, but I feel like it's to the detriment of the show because almost every time that happened, there was an extremely, because I've gone back and listened to the soundtrack, an extremely funny song or funny moment that happens right after it, and no one paid attention to it, and that joke doesn't get the laugh that it deserves because there's been this tension beforehand, and people don't feel comfortable to laugh right now. That's the thing, is that it doesn't give the audience permission to laugh. So they're doing this funny scene, and everyone's like, "We can't laugh right now, right? Like, it's serious." Oh no, it's funny. It's funny. Okay, it's It's back to funny. Then the laughs start coming again. It just kind of makes it weird. The whole thing with the Book of Mormon.
Yes.
The whole thing with the Book of Mormon is that it does follow 2 Mormons who get given their assignment, and the genius of the play is that they don't make anything up about the Book of Mormon. They just use the text and use what it says in there and the way they are, and just put them in the most ridiculous circumstance. So in this case, instead of being told to go door knocking in suburbia, these 2 kids are taken to Uganda in Africa and told to go door knock like Mormons in Africa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's fucked up.
So my understanding, because I got a bit of a rundown of it when the Book of Mormon first started being shown. Was never aware of the slang of like Book of Mormon or anything like that. And the way it was described to me was that the Book of Mormon is the Bible. Is that
The Book of Mormon is a third testament to the Bible that was added in the 1800s by someone. And by all historical accounts from what I have read about like religion and theology and all that kind of stuff, major theologists at this point in time tend to believe, still debating, still trying to figure out what happened, tend to believe the man who wrote the Book of Mormon did it on a bet. That he basically said, I bet you I can make a religion that people will follow, did it, and it worked.
Yes.
That is the currently accepted origins of Mormonism.
my hero?
Yeah.
And so, because like they even do a song about it at the start about how like his name is this guy named Joseph Smith. Yes, and he found golden plates in his backyard that had the third testament. That apparently Jesus, after he was crucified, went to America and
It's the new promised land.
Yes, and was a prophet in America for 3 days before he went back to Jerusalem to do the bits that are in the New Testament.
Oh, I want
and
to
it's
see
all
this show.
It's so fucking
All this,
good.
I feel like
the actual like,
That's the actual religious text. That's not even the joke parts.
no, I can only imagine the jokes. That's what I mean. Like,
if you guys want a deep dive into Mormonism's creation,
Yeah.
the last podcast on the left has a
yeah.
five-part
fine, Jesus.
Yeah, you can do it.
episode,
Oh, yeah.
to it,
So-
describing just how much of a con artist Joseph Smith was,
Yeah.
and people in the Mormon faith kind of acknowledge it, but it's also like an open secret.
Yeah, it's really
so
weird.
it's like, oh yeah, that dude definitely deals math.
And so, yeah, and so the problem is because they put them in Uganda, there's this the centralized conflict underneath it, and I'm gonna say like content warning for a second here. The centralized conflict is the female genital mutilation that happens in Africa. Yeah, see what I mean? That's where it gets heavy. So there are moments where it gets real heavy, and you're like, "Fucking, what are you doing?" And then they do a comedy scene afterwards, and it's not comfortable, and it's not meant to be. It's meant to make you question. The entire play does make you question what's going on, but by the time you get to the end of it, the realization I had was that the play is more about the absurdity of religion in general, because the way they end up winning is these. You get to the end of the first act, and my question was, what do they do to resolve this conflict? Because my thought was like, well, you can either have the Ugandans turn Mormon, and they're not going to do that. That's not what this play is going to do. Or you can have the Mormons turn on their religion, which I don't think they're going to do that either, because like they're not trying to.
Yeah. They're not trying to bash Mormons.
Exactly, they're just like the religion's funny, but they're not trying to bash them and turn them against it. So what are they going to do? So the end of the play.
Alerts.
Spoiler alerts for anyone who's going to see a stage. You're going to see a
I
stage
mean,
play.
I'm not going to go see it, but like in the off chance.
And the off chance anyone who's listening to this does want to go see it, spoiler, skip ahead. But the way it finishes is they make a fourth book. Like,
No way!
just invent a fourth book. They're like, oh, we get it now. Everything in religion is a metaphor. So these two Mormons invent a fourth book called the Book of Arnold and pitch that to the Ugandan people. And they're like, yeah, no, we get it. It's a metaphor. You white people are the stupid people who are like, it's literal. And it's the best.
That's amazing.
It's the best. It's so good. And not only is the Book of Arnold ridiculous, it's also ridiculous in the way that like it appealed to us because the guy who's like fucking up and making it up as he goes along is like a super nerd. So like Yoda and Boba Fett are in the Book of Arnold and weird shit like that. But it's super fun. The songs are super catchy. I have the soundtrack. I'll get you guys to listen to it at some point because it's really, really good.
Is the soundtrack just the songs? Or
It's just the songs. But the songs are funny in themselves. Like they're funny on their own, but then in the context of the play, they get funny.
See, like that's the
but
thing.
yeah, it's great.
I was brought up as in a Christian household, not in the sense
Same.
that like we'd sit down and be like, oh, say grace, but just like in the sense that God is real and like that's why we should do good things in the world. And as a youngin, like going to school and like doing religion education and that type of shit, I believed it for a very long time.
Yep.
And then after a while, I gained independability. And I thought to myself, I was like, hang on, I shouldn't not do this because some almighty force is telling me not to. I should not do this because it's fucking
wrong.
stupid.
Yeah.
And it's not a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favourite song in the soundtrack is a song called Hasadiga Ibowai, which is the first song that the Ugandan people sing to the Mormons, and the Mormons are like singing along, like, this is great, isn't this wonderful, aren't African people lovely? And then during the song they like, wait a second, what does that phrase mean? And he's like, well, Ibowai means God, and Hasadiga means fuck you. So I guess it means fuck you, God. And then they just keep going on, and they're like, and like this entire place is just, because it's a song about like, it's got that like Hakuna Matata feel to it. Like, you know, like my house has been burnt down. Hasadiga Ibowai. Like it's all just like that kind of stuff. And you're like, well, this is great. And then you're like, oh, right. And then it ends with like a chorus line singing, fuck you in the arse, mouth and cunt. Fuck you in the arse, mouth and cunt. Over and over and over again.
That kind of people.
It is a fabulously written play. It's
God, I hate
wonderful.
religion.
So that they do know the way.
Yeah. It's so good. Even if you're not into theatre or musical theatre or live plays, I encourage anyone to go see it if they have that kind of... If they think they're going to be in that... If they enjoy South Park. If you've enjoyed South Park in any way, go have a look at it. But if you're a little bit sensitive about that, probably steer clear.
Yeah.
But fantastic. I had a great night watching that.
How good. Fuck.
Anyway, Dean, it's time for you. Or do you want to just get on to Star Wars?
No, we've completely missed Kyron.
We've also
Oh, wait,
Thanks, motherfucker.
he was talking about Titans, but that was him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
So if
What's
you want to
your-
link in, and then I'll, because I want to start Star Wars.
Okay. do you
Okay.
want-
Yeah.
Alright, okay, so,
I got confused because you were explaining Naruto to me as well. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, he's already done two.
do a terrible explaining shit.
Yes. Yes. just fight the people on podcasts. UFC, what are we up to? 258?
258. Ding, ding.
But no, I have been playing VR and getting into that.
What games?
I have been playing Blood and Truth.
Don't know what that is.
What? So that
Oh, is that the medieval ring fighting game?
No, it's not. I wish it was that game.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I regret this purchase slightly.
Damn.
It was like $25, so I bought it. But the game is good, like all the mechanics and stuff. But the motion in it is awful.
What is it?
Blood and Truth.
It's a...
It's a VR game where... Okay, so you want me to go into it?
Yep.
That
Yeah.
way. Alright, so it's an incredibly bland, heard it a million times story in VR. It is some dude who is part of the military comes home to London where his family runs a gang. And
Assassin's
now...
Creed Syndicate.
Yeah, and their father is dead. So he comes back, he's like, oh, funeral, And then the mum's like, oh, okay, cool, now this is how this is going to go. And you have like this little exposition dump. And then some dude walks in, shoots all your guards, and then it's like, hey, give me your fucking gang, or it's going to get worse. And everyone's like, oh yeah, sweet, you kind of took all of our guns, so we'll listen to you, man with the gun. And then the whole thing is like destroying his empire, like his syndicate from the inside without him knowing and stuff like that. It's very
So basically,
boring.
this guy takes over your mafia,
Yeah.
and then you, being the ex-mafia lord's son, take it down.
Yes. But then you also are with your family doing it, and then there is the tech sister, and the party brother, and the protective mother.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's
yeah.
kind of like Black Panther.
Yeah, but terrible.
Yep.
Tech sister, protective mother.
Yeah, but that's
Dude comes over and takes over.
That's a real jump.
Yeah.
But, like,
But
you're not wrong.
No, I
I
can
mean,
see how we got there.
Come on, tell me something else. It's
Yeah.
pop culture that
And then
relates to this.
Every plot twist is predictable. Like, spoilers for anyone who gives a
You're your own dad.
No.
Damn it.
Not very
Basically,
predictable.
everyone dies except the sister.
Spoilers, everyone dies.
Yeah, and it's so it's so unmoving that I was playing this game because the mechanics are fucking amazing. Like you grab like stuff off your chest and you can like flick it in the air and cash it into the well of your gun and stuff like that. And
Cool.
spin your
When you
pistol.
say stuff, you mean magazines, right?
Yeah.
No stuff. You can just throw like
It's
hair
like
gel.
shit's
Yeah.
blood there.
Oh, in my gun!
But also, it doesn't matter what
He's
gun
picking kittens
you
off
have.
the street.
All magazines
you-
work?
No, not all magazines work, but the same spot will just randomly generate like
Oh,
shotgun
Oh,
shells
so
or,
like
a magazine.
you've got a rocket launcher, rocket.
Yeah.
You got a submachine gun, Uzi mag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love it.
legitimately, you like have like a huge like rifle, and you just look down and you see like a
Sniper rifle
magazine
mag.
on like the size of like a small notebook just on your chest, and you're like, fuck.
Nice. Love it.
It sounds like what they've done is very much what Avatar did, like push the movie. Is that they pushed the tech forward, but they had a very familiar, recognizable story so that people could be onboarded.
Yeah.
Because people like familiarity when they're being given new things.
But
to
the
do.
thing is, Avatar did their story well enough to be enjoyable.
the movie,
Like,
James Cameron.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It was well enough
It
to
was an
be
enjoyable ride.
enjoyable, not
The movie.
obsessive, and to watch it. Yes, Avatar
movie.
Blue Boys.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah.
James
James
Cameron's
Cameron's Avatar.
Oh,
Yeah.
those are about
I mean, that
No,
movie was.
No.
I was like,
No.
yeah, enjoyable. The movie,
Yeah.
not the TV
No.
series.
No. The movie
okay.
the movie for The Last Airbender is called The Last Airbender.
And we will refer to it as such, but we shall never refer to it.
Yeah.
Such trash.
That's why I was confused.
Yeah.
A friend
okay.
of mine auditioned
No,
for these.
yeah. James
Cameron.
Cameron's
He didn't get in. Like,
Avatar Blue Boys. That was enjoyable enough.
Blue
This,
Boys Matter.
I saw my mother die, like my mother die in front of me, and I just bent down and started to see how much I could poke her. Because I was so unfazed by it, because it was so predictable.
Oof.
It's bad.
That's bad.
But the game's fun.
Cool.
And then, so yeah, that was at the time, and I've also been like watching Haiku.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You've been watching a haiku?
I'm watching an anime called Haiku.
Is that the basketball?
Oh,
It is volleyball.
Volleyball.
Is that the one on Netflix?
Yes,
Yes.
it's quite good. It is a sports anime.
You like sports ball?
Well, yeah. If you don't like sports or you don't have any interest in it, don't watch it. But
I just don't like football.
yeah, volleyball is actually like this anime got me into wanting to play volleyball myself.
fucking
To be fair, Dragon Ball Z makes me want to work out.
No, do you want to do physical activity?
Yep.
I could see how they could use volleyball. Like I can see how they could make volleyball super anime.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Like
oh,
it's jumping in
spike
the
it.
air and
You need to
Yeah,
spike
that's
it.
why like
Like
sports
the
animes
from the
have
net.
like taken off because you just and it's tournament style. So
Yeah.
like that anime
That's
loves
what
that.
the anime plays off. It's not so much the cool spikes. Like there are definitely awesome spikes, and you're like, fuck yeah. But they focus on the actual part of the game. The most important part is the setup. The person who no one notices, who
Yes.
actually sets up everything to make people do that,
Yeah.
and to show like in a game, like if your setup is fucking shit, you can have the best people and you're fucked.
Yeah.
Have you seen that Prod Z video of sports anime? He starts like, I don't like sports, I don't want to watch this, and by the end of it, it's about the power of friendship and the spike and the setup and the training and the
Yeah, that's exactly haiku.
yeah. No, that's all sports anime.
Yeah. Yeah,
Do you
so
have
it
straight
basically follows these
Yeah,
two
straight.
people who are one half of a whole, like, weapon on their side. So there's one kid who is like 5'6", and he's making up for it with his jump height and stuff like that.
Yep.
So he wants to be like another 5'6" volleyball player who's called the Tiny Giant, and he just jumps real high. So that was his inspiration.
Anime is
So he's going to the same school and being like,
And
I'm going to
with
get the
the
same training, I want to be the best. But realizing I'm absolute shit because no one ever wanted to play with me, so now I'm going up against people who actually did like play the sport and actually had training. So yeah, it focuses on him being an amazing jumper and striker and stuff like that. But the setter is like pinpoint amazing. Like the only reason this dude does it, like he closes his eyes, runs and jump, and no matter what, the ball will always be at his hand. And yeah, it's really cool. It's not so good to explain now that I'm speaking.
No. So you've been doing a good job.
No. Like, I actually want to watch this now.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, and it's like the whole thing of like being a lonely kid wanting to have a team, and then finally getting a team and feeling you're not good enough to be on the team, and having everyone realize, like you realize it's not just you that needs to be good, the team has you back. It's not, you don't need to be a star, everyone needs to be good.
Yeah.
The only sports anime I've seen is the parody of Free, the swimming anime. The parody is called 50% Off.
Okay.
It's, yeah.
That's a flushing of a toilet if you can hear that. Fucking hell. I was going to suggest, before we dive into, because Dean wanted to kick off the Star Wars stuff, do you want to take a 5-minute break, get a breather in here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's take a break.
We'll take a break. We'll cut the podcast here, and that
But
way we've got
first,
two.
a message from our sponsor.
Raid Shadow Legends!
Play now.